supposedly the fix for the blank payload?
I have to check. I think they're all in some production deployment right now.
That they're doing it now?
I think so. I know some deployments are going on right now.
Okay.
Let me check with them to see if anyone is available.
Thank you. I think that's our most critical at the time. So Sherry, once that gets put through, we need to make sure that they redo or they refresh all of those tasks.
Yeah, so that's my question. So what will they do for those? Is it for the whole request IDs will have to be just like, will they just do a back end where they refresh like the payload that goes to the asset teams, or how will that work?
Yeah, so Deepak, is that something that you will need to do? We're gonna have to refresh all of those Walmart engineering opt-outs.
Okay. What exactly needs to be done, Kim?
So they receive them. Geez, there's a couple asset teams, and I'm assuming there's more of them that received a blank payload, and there's probably several hundred, if not several thousand, at this point. That because of that change on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
That are,
Because that PDMS change, whatever Harika explained, right, yesterday?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yesterday, Harika explained that is we are talking about, right? Harika and Prabhu.
Yeah, but somebody's gonna have to go into the database and re-trigger all those in a mass.
Okay.
Is that?
I think no. I think PDMS team. Let me see whether Prabhu can join.
No, I checked with him. He's on a different ball. He said that he did the changes that were deployed. It's done, and they are waiting for verification with the asset team.
No, Kim's question is mostly, I mean, who will manually trigger those calls, right, with valid payload? Piyush, can you ask him to join for a minute?
I did. I asked him. He said he's on a separate call. Can Harika join? She's offline.
Okay, I pinged Prabhu, let's see. Okay, maybe we can proceed with other discussion. Let them join. I think PDMS can take care, but yeah, Prabhu can confirm.
Okay. Sherry, anything else to raise?
No, we went through opt-outs. They're good. Besides, of course, the Walmart engineering, and then we haven't made it through access yet. So far we're good.
Okay. Pops?
Sam, you want to give an overview real quick on our reports, our SAM's reports from the retriggers to Piyush?
Yep, Piyush, I just wanted to touch base. We had, I believe, 7 Sam's Club reports that it was discussed and the decision was made to retrigger. I did notice when going through those this morning, 1 out of 7 is retriggered, and that's the one we spoke about where it's stuck in request accepted. And I just wanted to touch base on the other 6.
Yeah, everyone is right now busy in production deployment, so and a couple of hours I should be able to get them re-triggered, all the 6 of them, and then we can monitor. And I need to connect with someone from intake for the first one, which is stuck in request accepted. They need to move it to enrichment state, so I'm working with them on this.
Okay, if we can avoid extending those, Piyush, that would, I mean, I know, I mean, if we can get them done today, great. If it takes a little bit of time, I mean, we do have, I think, Sam, a couple weeks on most of them?
Yeah, so the majority of them weren't due till mid-December.
But Piyush, there's the retriggers, right, for the mismatches that we had. So we're not guaranteed that we're going to have, you know, successful. I mean, we don't know what we're going to see in terms of our intake validation. So it could very well be that we have to escalate them again. So that's why we're kind of keen on getting them retriggered as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'll try to do that today. So get them
Okay. Much
Great.
appreciated.
And then that was all I had this morning. Deepak, actually, I did want to touch base on the incident that I raised last week where the customer type was called back as customer type 3 and updated. In Quest, as such, I do see on the incident it was changed back to customer type 1, and I did verify that. I know there was just some discussion last week on what the course of action was going to be on that, because it was a change we weren't aware of, so I was just seeing if there's an update.
Yeah, so based on the last comment from Patrick, right? So I have updated the customer type as 1. Tim, can you open that incident?
Yeah, I don't have that open yet. In just a sec.
I put that incident number in the chat too, Kim.
That the one ending in 7130.
Yes.
I think Yash made the last comment about investigation into what's happening or how to handle it.
And I did see an email come through from you, Yash, as well, and I looked at the JIRA, and it just wasn't entirely clear what it was, so I just wanted to see if we could get some updates on that, or just touch base, see if I just need to leave it open, Patrick, until a decision's made going forward.
Yeah, we our thread is still open, so we're gonna finalize that. We're gonna handle through that the same Jira approach, or we're gonna do something else. So yeah, once we have decided that something, I'll edit someone.
You guys remember that? I mean, whatever road we're going down there, I mean, we cannot be changing those details just arbitrarily. And if you're going to do that, you're going to need to get approval from legal privacy.
Yeah, we'll make sure we're not gonna update those details. I mean, this is the only one, the account type 1. We also update the execution workflow as well. Like from V1 to V2, and our ancestors started showing up in a quest. It's like something like the similar thing.
Okay, I'm just trying to keep us all out of. I mean, if it's not an issue and they're already aware, or you know, this element has already been approved, great. Like to get confirmation of that. If it's not, I'm just trying to keep us all out of trouble because this circumstance seems very, very odd to us. So let's just all get on the same page and make sure legal privacy is aware and they're signed off on whichever course of action that we're taking. And we're going to keep this open until we have it put to bed.
And I think my only follow-up question for that is if it's decided and approved by legal that this is something that's going to be allowed, coming from a monitoring perspective, will there also be an update for us to tell that it was changed? Because, for example, this one, the only reason it raised a flag is it was a customer type 3 on my monitoring, and it was already processing. The opt-out said customer type 1 still, but if that is something that moves forward, how will we be able to verify that's the change that was made, or if it's a technical issue and a request is processing when it's not supposed to?
No, that's a good question. I think we're going to have to lean on Deepak and their interaction with legal privacy to address that.
Okay. And that was all that I had.
So, Deepak, do you guys have a channel to legal? I mean, do you know who to contact and all that?
No.
So, Frank, do you want to work with him on that? On what that process would be?
Yeah, we'll get it surfaced to Will and Greg and try to get them informed. Deepak will reference the ticket and we'll loop you into a new thread and go from there. Does that sound good? Who else do you want on that? Ajay, do you want in on that?
Well, who made the decision to change it? I guess that's who we need to ultimately understand why they made that decision.
I mean, yeah, it's news to us. hence, Sam raising it in the first place.
Right. So Yash, do you know who made the decision to change it?
I mean, from account type to 1 to 3.
Well, the decision to actually, to arbitrarily change that after the fact, those request details.
That call comes from a brand. Chelsea, like after 2 days, on the 2nd December, we received an external call from a brand for same user, and that sends a cookie ID and a holder request. So we try to synchronize data in our database, and we updated that.
And Yash, I do understand that. And if my question on this is still, if we scroll further down in the comments, when this was raised, the request was still enrichment in progress. So none of the assets were even completed. And I think that's providing, causing confusion for me because like I said, I understand you're saying that they called back customer type 3 and we updated it in our database due to that. But if this was still an enrichment in progress and there were no assets that were finalized, how could we have received that callback?
Also, where did the call come in from? Through the call center?
No, the call coming from a browser. So if the user use a browser and turned off the browser for 3 days and it started coming back to the same page, which is they came on a the page which is they visited 3 days back, and the brand internally called the ext.
All right, so Frank, I'm gonna ask you if you could help drive this and just get it all documented.
Yep. So yeah, we're gonna try.
Okay.
Ajay, that is something us and intake we need to block that the duplicate call and stop updating the database. So we're gonna put some solution over there. The brand is not gonna put anything.
So Yash, what I'm probably gonna do is get a planner on the books for include legal privacy, and probably not gonna take this very high yet, but just legal privacy yourself, Deepak and Ajay. The question was whether or not you wanted to be included on this incident that's in the chat that we were just discussing, the one ending in 7130.
Regarding that blank payload, right?
No.
It's the fact that the data got changed after